All right. How we doing, guys? This is Aaron Bennett with Hack Nation. Well, this is Hack Nation Live. I'm your host, Aaron Bennett. Um, Good to be back. Good to be back. Starting a little early here. I was just sitting here looking at stuff online and being a little bored. I figured, well, heck, we might as well just go ahead and get her started. If you're new to the show, every Wednesday night, 7 to 9 Central Time, we give up our time here to come just try and help people out in this industry as best we can. I got to get back to having some guests. That's for damn sure. We've just been so busy trying to get moved and all that, but I would like to get some guests on here again. It always makes for a very fun time. If you guys don't know, this is a piece of shit, Mike. If you guys don't know, this is a caller-centric show. We highly encourage you to be part of the show and call in to the number that's posted up on the screens there. It's 573-422-4225. That's 573-422-4225. Somehow the show hasn't even technically started yet, and we already got one caller. I think we'll go ahead and take that caller here and make sure the phone lines are working. You guys rock. I have learned and improved my knowledge of trucks for sure. Thank you, man. That's kind of been my goal from the very beginning. You know, Charlie from Pure Diesel Repair, I'm sure you guys have seen him on social media. He was actually the guy that pushed me to start doing social media. Him and I were neighbors for a long time, and he would push me all the time to get on social media. And that was his whole thing, is he's like, you know, you own trucks, and you had a, at the time I had a trucking company still. Like, you own trucks and you rebuild engines. Like, he's like, you have a lot of stuff you can share with people. And from the beginning, that was always our intent, is to share as much as we could. I mean, my very first video on social media ever was talking about having one truck versus 10. So it's always been kind of our goal. So it's always nice to see people saying that we've helped them in one way or another. That's always been the goal. That's what the show is for. That's the only reason we take this time. I don't benefit from this technically at all. It's just an opportunity to help as many people as we can. And you see in the comment sections, a lot of mechanics all around the country join us every week to try and be a part of this and help. And that's probably one of the coolest things to me, is to see all these professional guys in our industry take the time to join this show just to try and help people out. A little bit of smartasm going on in the comments, most of the time, but that makes it fun. It is pretty cool that people regularly come here and give up their time alongside me, and I have a lot of respect for that. Anyway, let's go ahead and check the phone lines here, make sure they're working. You're on the air, man. What can we do for you?
Yes, sir. So I got a question regarding engine break-in. Got a 2013 Kenworth, pulled the Cummins out and put a Detroit 12.7 crate motor in it. My question is, how quickly do I need to get a load behind that truck to properly break that motor in?
Well, I think the best way for me to answer that is just to tell you what we do, right? And the quick answer is immediately. That's the quick answer.
Right.
But and we're so anal about it here. We air the trucks up with shop air and take them, and go straight from first startup, or usually second startup. We always start them, make sure they're going to have an issue, and run them for maybe 30 seconds, and then but we'll air them up. That way they don't have to idle for any longer than they have to. Immediately pin to the trailer that's been staged and go start pulling. I mean, that's how critical we think it is. Where the biggest confusion comes, with breaking them in is what do you actually do? And if that's what you're asking, I would love to answer that.
Yeah, I would like to know what your break-in procedure is. But my biggest deal is I'm not going to be able to get a load behind that truck for about 40 miles. So I'll have an empty trailer for the first 40 miles. How fucked am I?
Yeah, but empty trailer. So let me explain the break-in process, the way it's done properly, in my opinion. And every kit ever produced by anybody has a break-in procedure that comes with the kit, and they all tell you the same thing essentially. But I'm going to put it in layman's terms. What you're trying to do is get the engine up to operating temperature under load. And load means not you going to pick up a load. Okay? Load means boost pressure on top of the piston crowns, pushing the rings out from the lands into the liner wall while it's hot. That is the only thing you're trying to achieve. So we get trucks in here, it's happened before where we get a truck in here that you can't hook a trailer to at all. Let's say a dump truck. I have no way to go get that thing loaded. Empty trailer, not a problem, man. You got an empty trailer on. If you have any hills around you, you can break that thing in with an empty trailer, no problem. Use your brakes. 10 pounds of brakes across the board with a decent hill. Go up it, turn around, come back. They just keep going up and down the same hill over and over again. If you can get that engine fan to come on because you're pulling that thing down, and here's the best way to do it. Let's say you're pulling a hill, 7th over, 8th direct, if you have an 18 speed, somewhere in there where you have some leeway, and then you just go ahead and pull it down with the engine brake while you have it stomped to the floor. And then you have all the leeway in the world to let off the brake and let that thing catch back up. So your pyro's not getting too hot, this and that. But the only goal you're after is I'm building boost pressure and I'm getting the engine hot. So if your engine fan comes on 6 or 7 times, 7 or 8 times, and let's say you get that done in the equivalent of 20 miles, right? Worth of driving. Maybe you're going up and down the same hill over and over again. You only put 10 miles on it. You have achieved the goal. There is not a amount of miles that matters. It's not, and your kits will say 50 miles, some will say 100 miles, some will say 200 miles. That part is irrelevant. And this is the part where most people give you the disclaimer, but you should do what the manufacturer says. None of that matters. The only thing that matters is I'm getting it hot under load. End of story. The best way to determine that is how many times did your engine fan cycle independent of you turning it on. If you can get that thing to do that 7 or 8 times, and if you can't get it to do it, put some fucking cardboard in front of the radiator and make it do it. Make it do it.
Okay. Cool.
You do that.
Next question. Sorry, go ahead.
If you do what I'm telling you with an empty trailer or even bobtail, you won't have any problems. You will not have premature blow by. The rings will seat, and you can go about your merry way. And then I would advise you from there for the next 10,000, for the first 10,000 miles, it's very critical you don't put a bunch of idle time on it. They're very prone to wet stacking right out the gate, and you can undo everything you've done. Just try really hard not to let her run below operating temperature for the first 10,000, and you'll have a 1,000,000+ mile engine that you don't ever experience any blow by outside of some external thing happening to it. Anyway, go ahead.
Okay. No, this motor that I bought, it's a 12.7 Reman from DDR East. You know anything about those? Is that a quality company? Or?
Never heard of them. Never heard.
Yeah, it's just a factory Detroit Reman. I bought the motor from Freightliner.
Okay, so the dealer sold you the engine.
Yeah, the dealer sold the engine. I think it's completely remanned by Detroit.
Yeah, we supply a lot of dealers with something similar. It comes down to, you're probably fine because your dealer is going to stand behind that, most likely, right? I wouldn't worry too much about it because even if there is some kind of an issue, because you bought it through the dealer did everything for you. You're most likely going to have a decent experience, even if you have a problem. We try and make sure that we extend that same mentality we can't guarantee we're going to be problem free, because we have we sell so many engines a year, that we have to outsource a large portion of them, which we're working really hard to change that. We're going to be doing all of our long blocks and long block pluses in house within a couple of weeks. We're hoping, but we might sell 500 engines a year that were built by approved people, right? Approved builders for us.
Right.
But we don't talk to those builders at all if there's a problem. We take care of it. We just send you a new engine if we have to. We just and up front, if you're buying a approved engine from us or if you're buying one we built, there's a really big lead time if you insist on having one we built, which we don't mind. It's just a lead time there, and I'm sure a lot of people opt for the fast option. We can get you an engine in 3 or 4 days, but our warranty program on those is, you had a problem, new engine's on the way, be there in 3 days. You know what I mean? And most likely your experience with the dealer is going to be the same damn thing, so I wouldn't worry about it too much, man.
Cool. You know anyone buying up Cummins cores right now?
We buy any core, and we're going to be searching for cores really hard here in a couple of weeks. We're going to be making videos looking for cores. So we're always buying cores. It just really comes down to the logistics most of the time,
Right.
I'll get a random.
I got a complete 2870 ISX pull out.
Right, but it's like I get these kind of phone calls almost daily. Hey, I got an engine. I'm in New York and I got a 3406E that I want to get rid of. And well, I'm in Texas, and so what we'll do is we'll get an LTL truck and we'll try to figure it out, and we'll, buy engines from all over the country and corral them to 5 or 6 different places around the country where we have affiliates or good friends or whatever. And then we'll send an LTL truck around to go get them all. But we're a couple of weeks out. Just keep an eye on us making videos. And you're going to see us make some videos here really shortly, buying engines again. Last time we did that, we bought about 90 engines from around the country, and we're going to do something similar again here in a couple of weeks.
Okay, well, I'll be on the lookout for that. Hey, man, I sure appreciate your time. You answered all my questions. So
yes, sir. Have a good night, man, and good luck with that thing.
Yes, sir. You as well. Appreciate it.
Bye. Anyway, the something that Charlie and I from Pure Diesel Repair used to always agree with each other on, is I've sent trucks to be dynoed, and I swear you get a better job if you hook to a trailer and you can pound a hill over and over again. You just have that varying load and it's real time. And I just had so much better luck with that. I don't think I would ever invest money into a truck dyno. I do have an engine dyno that we are working hard to get up and running here as fast as we can. And that's kind of a different deal. It's going to be really nice when we're able to break in an engine. I had that debacle with the guys in Idaho where I should have had them send it back to me, and big mistake on my part for just taking care of them. But if I could have dynoed that engine before I sent it out, we wouldn't be in this debacle, right? So we're pretty anxious and excited to get the dyno up and go. Not to mention, I got a lot of products that I want to test right here in house, so I'm pretty excited. I'm gonna get back to the phone lines here. I want to take a look at one of these questions. Give me one sec, guys. I'll grab your calls. I had an in-frame done 170,000 miles ago. Changed the oil, and I have 35 psi at 1500 RPMs and an operating temperature. Is this normal? It's down to almost 30. Well, that is lower than a guy wants to see, but honestly, if it's been doing that to you this whole time, you're probably fine. There could be a bunch of variables in there. Pulling oil samples is how you really know if you're having an actual problem. If you start seeing bearing material, stuff like that, then it's a cause for concern. We have engines leave here, over the years. It's not uncommon to have an engine that doesn't have the greatest oil pressure when it leaves. A little bit of monitoring goes a long ways there. If this thing's going to go a million miles because you're way above the parameter, right? You're nowhere near it having a failure. So you don't necessarily have a problem. It's just concerning to look at. Take some oil samples, see if you have any raised copper levels, tin levels. Don't worry too much about silica levels so much. But if you're seeing copper, tin, zinc, and they're in the reds or even in the yellows, you probably need to be concerned about it. If you're not seeing any of that, keep trucking and keep taking oil samples. Back to the callers. You're on the air, man. What can we do for you?
Yeah, I got a 2007 NXS case. I got 1.78 million miles on it. I did rods and mains about 1 million miles ago, and the problem I'm having is I hit about 8,000 miles on an oil change, and I lose about 10 pounds of oil pressure. And my question is would you, what would you do? Would you drain 2 gallons out, put 2 new gallons in, roll rods and mains and cam bearings in it, put some Lucas oil in it? Where would you go? I guess what I want to do is I want to see how far I can take it before I have a catastrophic failure, I guess. And I need to rebuild it.
Sorry. How many miles are on it?
1.78 million. It's been a 475 its whole life.
Well, here's what I actually think. If you rebuild it now, you'll save an insane amount of money trying to take it to failure. It will cost you astronomically less to fix it right and to just redo it again right now than to try and take out the failure, even for curiosity's sake. You could get another million miles out of that thing. I wouldn't take it to failure. That's my answer. You're looking at a...
Okay.
I don't know. That just seems crazy to me because there's a lot of value in that thing.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have any elevated copper or anything like that on my oil samples.
I understand, but if there's actually 1.7 million on it, I mean, the answer is kind of already in front of you, right? Yeah. Here's something I can tell you from a guy that has rebuilt an insane amount of engines over the years. That the guys that rebuild them due to high mileage, they take good care of their engines, and they just have a cutoff point, like Bob and Deb, for example. Their engine was fine. They brought it here and had us overhaul it. If he would have taken that thing out to failure, it would cost him 10x of what it cost him. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yep. Yeah, I think the main thing that has really held it together has been the 475 its whole life.
I mean, it most certainly could have played a factor. Those lower horsepower, big displacement engines can just kind of go forever.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, that was the only question I had. Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, sir. Have a good night, man.
See ya.
All right, we got lots of callers lined up. We'll get to. I got one guy. I was going to answer this question. It's kind of a question on Facebook and over here on TikTok. Guy on TikTok says, "What's going on with all the coated parts you're selling?" Another guy over here says, "Not talking shit, just an actual question. What is the actual purpose of coatings on your kits? OEM kits go life expectancy. Why bother with coatings?" Again, just asking. So that's a very legitimate line of thinking. OEM kit, and when people buy stuff from us, occasionally I point that out. And I'm like, it's not something you have to have. Nobody's saying that, right? Because you don't have to buy a coated kit from us. We have every part for every engine, but you can upgrade to a hacknation kit. Same thing with turbos. You can get a regular turbo from us, or you can upgrade it to the hacknation ones. The coatings serve some very critical purposes. So do some of the other processes we do. Like if you buy a hacknation kit from us, all of the stuff like the wrist pins have been REM finished, isotropic, super finished. There's a huge benefit there. Everybody, industry wide, people know what those benefits are. So you have the benefit there. Then you have ceramic coatings on the pistons. What is the purpose of the ceramic coating on the pistons? We're transferring more of your thermal energy to kinetic energy. It's really simple. Does it get you an extra million miles? Nobody's claiming that. What you're doing is transferring more thermal energy where it's supposed to go, and that's to the drivetrain. That's going to transfer to more horsepower. That's going to transfer to better fuel savings, fuel efficiency, stuff like that. The coated bearings, that's obviously tribology that we're doing there. We're doing we're not doing coatings. We're doing an impregnation of tungsten disulfide into the bearing itself. That tungsten disulfide has been used across our industry for long before I was even born, in gear trains and in your aerospace and military applications. You see, like when we went to the place that was coating or impregnating our bearings, rather, we were the only ones there with bearings. They had shelves and shelves and shelves of Eaton gears. They were doing gears for Eaton. That was their main line of business, right? So there's some major benefits to it. We're not making claims that a regular kit that doesn't have these things won't go a million miles. There's millions of counterexamples to show that they'll go a million miles. But that doesn't mean you can't improve what is, right? It's just like, those total or the gapless rings that we do. I mean, I made videos on those today. I don't know if any of you guys saw it, but wow, what a difference. What a difference. An engine with tens of thousands of miles on it, no crankcase pressure at all. Engine that doesn't even have 30 miles on it, 3 or 4 CFM, right? Well, OEM doesn't do that. Okay. That doesn't mean that it's not, you can't improve upon it, of course. All right, we got so many callers. We got to get back to them. Austin Talley, I see all your comments, brother. But it's not really, call-in show conversation, really. You're basically just saying you want to come here and work. That's great. I like all that, but it's just really isn't the spot. What rebuild kits do we offer for the DD16? We have DD16, DD15. You can get a stock kit, or you can get a hacknation kit. We're doing a 6.7 right now. So there's kind of the sky's the limit. If you ship me a little 54 horsepower Isuzu, would we rebuild it? Yeah, maybe. You'd have to get a hold of us. All right, back to the callers. You're on the air. What can we do for you, brother?
Hello?
Yeah, it's you, brother.
Yes, Aaron, I think you're awesome. Hacknation is top line in the United States, I feel.
Thanks.
But my question to you is, what mileage do you start replacing injectors?
Oh, man, that's a good question. Yeah, and so I'm just going to give you my opinion on it, of course. I don't know if there's any industry standard, but I'll just give you an example. Let's say you came here and I rebuilt your Acer and it's 23 years old, okay? And it comes in and injectors are working fine. And you're like, well, should I do all new injectors? I would probably recommend that you didn't if they were working fine, because number one, injectors, losing an injector is not something catastrophic, and you can change them out one at a time. It's not a big deal. It's not expensive, and you can selectively replace injectors. The problem is your injectors available to you industry wide, whether they're OEM, which are all reman all the hell. You could be getting an injector that's been reman 15 times. You don't know. And all of your aftermarket have all been remanned so many times that the odds of you getting a 6-pack of injectors and ending up with one bad are incredibly high. And it's incredibly frustrating to deal with if you have 6 injectors that are working good. My opinion on it is to just kind of run them out. Now, we sell a lot of injectors, and we focus in on failure rate. So if we can stay somewhere around a 3% failure rate, I consider that an amazing injector, right? But you got to look at who's making them, who's manufacturing them. We use a lot of McBee because McBee makes all their components brand new. They don't reman them. Pretty much everybody else on the market, if you're not getting it from Bosch or McBee, you're basically getting a reman injector. That would be, pretty much from everybody. ATL, HHP, it don't matter where you're getting them. Even Delphi is going to be remanning them. Alliant Power is going to be remanning them. So if you want an injector with new components, you're really limited on who you can use. So we try to use a lot of McBee because they have one of the best prices and they do everything brand new. They literally manufacture everything brand new in-house. It's crazy. I've been there. I've seen it. I've been to lots of fuel shops around the country, but the long and short of it is, man, if don't replace them if they're still working, because if you lose one, you can selectively
don't replace it. It's not broke.
Especially with injectors. Especially with injectors. That's my opinion.
Okay. All right. Will you be at Matt's next year?
What's that?
Will you be at Matt's next year?
Oh, yeah, of course. That was so much fun. We'll be there every year. I have the booth for life until I give it up.
Awesome.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. All right, Aaron. Well, I seen you there, and I know you don't recognize my voice, but
man, I talked to so many.
I appreciate that info.
Yes, sir. And good luck.
All right. I know you talked to a lot of people there. Believe me, I know.
Yeah, I certainly did. It was a little much almost. So anyway, I appreciate you, man. Thanks for coming by to see me.
All right. You're welcome, Aaron. You take care.
You too. Bye.
Thank you for the answer. Bye-bye.
Yeah, that Mid-American Truck Show, man, I felt bad for a lot of people. There's people that stood in line. And it was very, I'm flattered and very appreciative of all the people that took so much time standing in line just to get a chance to talk to me. I want to thank anybody that did. Very amazing. Made me feel very appreciated. And I appreciate everybody that came and saw me at Matt's. It was 3 days of a line a mile long. There was one in particular I just wanted to kind of bring it up because this guy was there, and he was there with his wife and their little kid, and they probably did freaking hour and a half just to yes, and I could tell his wife was just like getting tired of standing there. And finally, and I'm talking to people trying to get to this guy. I'm just noticing, that, and then his wife finally said, "I'm not waiting no more," and so they walked off, and I chased them out to the parking lot. I ran that guy down. And I was like, "Man, I saw you waiting for me. Like, I'm sorry it took me so long to get to you, but I chased him out to the parking lot and talked to him. Really cool guy. Just it was crazy. There's a lot of people that wanted to talk to me too. So I apologize to anybody I didn't get a chance to talk to. There's even some people that talked shit on my videos later saying, "Oh, I waited forever to talk to you and you wouldn't even give me the time of day." Come on. Weren't you watching? Of course I wanted to give you the time of day. I'm only one guy. I did have a good team with me of people, including especially there in the comments there. And we got, people from my team managed to talk to just about every single person. But anyhow, back to the callers. You're on the air, brother. What can we do for you?
Hello?
Yeah, it's you. Hello.
Hey, what's going on, Aaron? Can you hear me?
Yeah, man, hit me with it. What's up?
Hey, I tried to call last week, but I had showed up a little late, so I ended up talking to Bob and Deb for a while that night, and so shout out to them because they were really awesome. But unfortunately, we did not figure out what was wrong. So maybe you have an idea. I have a 2000 Peterbilt 379, and it's got a 6NZ C15 in it. And I was messing around with a subwoofer I have in there, and I went to the battery box to check the fuses because I had an amp for. I had the fuse to the amp in the battery box, and well, when I went to pull that fuse out, I accidentally pulled the ECM fuse while the truck was running instead of the subwoofer fuse. And the truck cut off and would not start until I put that fuse back in. When I put that fuse in, I had a blinking check engine light. It was showing like engine speed. Let me find it. It was showing code 42, which was, I believe, engine speed signal calibration not performed. So I took it to a shop and they didn't have a probe to calibrate it. So I brought it to a CAT dealership and they said that they recalibrated it. But when I got the truck back, it's like the throttle was like super sensitive. Like if I just barely pressed on the throttle, the RPMs would like shoot the moon. And if I was driving down the road and mashed the gas, the truck wouldn't go anywhere. So that cleared the check engine light, but didn't get rid of the throttle response issue. And so when I got to the next shop I was bringing it to, the truck wouldn't turn off the key, and the ECM was reading a 475 horsepower 5K instead of my 550 6NZ file that I had in there. So I have no idea what's going on.
So you need to take it back to, was that an actual CAT?
Yeah, it was at a Yancey CAT in Augusta.
Yeah, they overwrote your file. Do you actually have a 6NZ?
Yeah, yep. Yeah, 6NZ 03502.
The only way that's possible is if they put a file on it.
Okay.
I own that probe you're talking about. I know the procedure. You don't have to change any of the parameters or anything like that to do that procedure. It's kind of an interesting procedure, but occasionally it's something that we have to do. I think in 16 years I've had to do it to 2 trucks. It's not a very common procedure, but sometimes it happens. And when you shut your truck off by pulling the fuse on the ECM while I was running, you mess some stuff up, but it's curable. But you're probably having all these problems because you can't even put a 5EK file on a 70-pin ECM pin out. So that's, yeah. I mean, I'm surprised it even runs. But the fact that it's looking for all the fine.
Hooked up to it after it happened. It was reading 6NZ with my 550 tune on it. And then I brought it to CAT. It didn't have the same issue with the throttle, but just no check engine light. And then when another shop hooked up to it, it was reading a 475 5EK.
Yeah, because
So
Cat put a file on it.
okay.
I mean, I would take it back to that Cat and make them fix it. Their tool will
Okay.
even
Do you know
imprint.
why the throttle would be wrong?
It's a 40 pin file on a 70 pin ECM. I wouldn't do anything until we figured that out. There might be nothing there. You might not have any
Okay.
problems, but it's you're talking 40 pin to 70 pin. I can't believe that it runs.
Yeah. Well, so the shop I brought it to, they put the 6MV file or whatever back on it, and every time they would shut the truck off and then cut the truck back on, it would go back to the 475 file. So I just ordered a new ECM.
Yeah, that's something I've never heard of in my life. I don't even know how that could possibly be possible. There's something insanely not normal about what you're saying. But yeah. Get a different ECM for sure. Let know what happened though, because that's like you're telling me things that aren't even possible, right? So I'm interested to see what happens. If you already got an ECM coming, did you already get one coming?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I just ordered one today from ATL Diesel, just a blank ECM.
Okay. What? Just curious. What'd you pay for one? I just want to see where we're at in comparison.
1900.
Okay, that's not bad. That's all right. We're about the same for an ECM, so I was just curious. Anyway, where we get them from, I prefer them. I have bought ECMs from ATL, but where we get them from, they do everything new on them. They're as close to a brand new ECM as you can get. They're not just remanned. They redo the boards and redo the batteries and everything. But anyway, neither here nor there, man. Let us call next week and let us know what happened.
Okay, yeah. ATL said that they would diagnose what happened to that ECM when they got my core, and they would let me know what it was.
Sure.
But
well, I'm just curious. I'm just curious if putting this other ECM on is going to fix it. That's what I'm curious of.
Yeah. Yeah, me too.
All right, man. Let me know.
All right, I appreciate it.
Yep. Have a good night and good luck.
All right, you too.
Are you going to ever be coming out with a fuel additive? What's your suggestion for a good fuel additive? My answer to that is when it comes to fuel additives, so much of them are just snake oil. It's insane. Like 99% of them on the market. For the cost of them, you don't get enough benefit to make it worth your time. I am very interested in a fuel additive made by the same guys that are making our oil and our bypass systems for us. But I told them that I wouldn't entertain the fuel additive until our engine dyno is up and running and I can see the results myself, because our engine dyno is a complete one, has the fuel system, metering system on it, tells you everything going on with the fuel and what kind of fuel mileage you're getting, the whole 9 yards. And so if I put a fuel additive into this dyno system, I will be able to see in real time if it actually does anything. And I mean, on paper, they have me convinced that they have a fuel additive that is actually beneficial. But I just, I mean, if you don't know me, then you don't know me very well. I'm just not that guy. This isn't Dave's Auto. This isn't Dave's Auto where I just, Dave's secret sauce. If I can't see it for myself on a dyno and see actual results that justify the cost of a fuel additive, fuck that. Not even interested. So we'll see. We may have a fuel additive in the near future. The only fuel additive I would recommend currently is they're expensive, is your power service. Your power service, you actually get some benefit out of it. Is it enough benefit to justify the cost? debatable for sure. One second. Another asked me to describe fretting and using liner shims. Well, fretting can be all over the place. He said, or reusing liner shims. You can reuse liner shims. There's not a problem with reusing liner shims. But as far as fretting goes, you'd have to be a little bit more specific. You can have fretting all over in the engine. If you mean fretting on the liner in the lower bore on an ISX, that is where the liner bore wall, so you have a ledge, the ledge starts to fall away from the block, and it will fracture, and it'll be a bunch of little splits. It look like you're taking a loaf of bread and kind of pulling it, and they're all spreading out from each other. That's what it looks like. And if you're talking about lower bore and liner fretting, that is what we're describing when we're talking about fretting in the lower bore. Now, it will usually look like cracks, but if you look at it really close, like microscopic level or magnifying glass level, at least, you'll see that it's actually falling away in layers from the block. Bad juju, we usually will bore them out until there's no fretting left. And let's say we go down 40 thousandths on an ISX and there's still fretting left in there. Then we will usually consider having it sleeved. We'll take it to the machine shop, have them cut the entire bottom out and put a new sleeve in it just to get rid of that fretting, because it's such a problem to build on top of that. I have built on top of it before for guys that were on a budget and just could not afford to go the extra mile to fix it. And we've built on top of fretting and have not seen a lot of negative connotations from doing that, but it is certainly not the right way. Anyhow, what do I think about Texas refinery oil products, and have I tested them against my oil? Brother, man, there's only one oil on the market I could compare to or test in a comparison, side-by-side comparison with our oil, and that's AMSOIL. Because you have to understand the way oils work. Texas refinery doesn't make a tier 4 natural gas oil, so you can't test it against my oil. It's like testing apples to oranges. So you have to do a like oil. So if I was going to test Texas refinery oil, I'd have to test it against another tier 2 oil like Rotella T4, right? For example. So I can't just pick any oil and test it against ours, because it wouldn't be fair, because ours is going to test better than 98% of oils on the market, just for you take the additive package out of it, right? And the additive package is what I think sets our oil apart. But take the additive package out of it, if you're dealing with a tier 4 oil, none of the other oils on the market, tier 3s and tier 2s, compared to it, right? Like your Schaefer's, your Rotella T6, that would be your tier 3 synthetics. They're not going to even come close. So those aren't fair comparisons. If we were going to do a comparison where we're really putting the stress test to our oil, we'd have to test it against AMSOIL, and it would have to be AMSOIL's premium oil as well on top of that. Back to the callers. We got so many here. Sorry about it, guys. Getting back to you. You're on the air. What can I do for you?
Hey, I want to talk about the reman motor I'm buying from y'all.
I'm here. I'm listening. Yes, sir.
So I don't know you, but I've watched you on Facebook. I believe in what you're selling. I believe in your service. I think you give some warranty away that maybe you shouldn't have, but that just shows the honesty. That's why I'm buying the motor from you. We're buying it next week. Question I got is, man, I need the lead time bumped up. So I'm coming to you on your show to ask. I can't, the build time, Glade, super guy, super nice guy. He's talking 2.5, 3 weeks. Anyway, since you're the man, I can get it in 2 weeks.
I'd have to have so much more information in front of me. You know what I mean? I'd have to be able to look up your purchase order, figure out where you're at. There's 10. Glade is awesome, by the way. Great kid.
Yeah.
I know his mother and father really well. He's directly related to my boys. Really good kid. But as far as lead time goes, um, we have. Let me put it into perspective for you guys. There's 10 people that work at our downtown offices. We have a facility downtown, an office complex, and there's 10 people that work there that answer the phones. They're all amazing guys that love being here, and they're great. You can get any one of those 10 guys, and I almost guarantee you'd call and say it was a great experience. Great guys. Despite the fact we have that many people, we miss about 100 to 150 phone calls a day. That is our volume. So if you just put that and just that little bit of information into perspective, it would be impossible for me to even know where we're at with you. You know what I mean? Doesn't mean that we have
I
processes.
get it.
We have processes in place to make sure we don't lose who you are. Good systems, right? That's how you handle that kind of with volume, is having good systems. So you'd have to give us a call, like I can't even look because I'm on the computer I would look on to find out. So you'd have to give us a call tomorrow, man, and we could probably help nail it down, and we could also see if we can speed the process for you.
That's cool. So tell me about the performance manifold that you're putting on in this package I'm buying. Because I'm buying a complete drop-in. Besides putting on, my starter and my alternator and a couple pieces, I'm buying a complete drop-in. Because my motor, I got metal in it from a rocker, from the camshaft. So there's no sense in me doing an input because I'm never going to get all that metal out of it. So that's why I'm buying your complete motor. So I'm curious about what the performance manifold is.
I'm not 100% sure. Again, it's the same kind of deal, right? I would have to, like, I had, you have to understand where we're at with any given product, right? So, like, turbos, I can tell you if got an upgraded turbo, that's my turbo, has my name on it. It's built, it's done exactly like we tested and have approved. It has our coatings on it, the whole 9 yards. Manifolds, on the other hand, we're still working on those. I just did a bunch of manifolds for the warehouse yesterday, and that would be us taking pre-made performance manifolds and extrude honing them, coating them, and sending them to the inventory. Now, our prototype manifold that we're going to release here in a couple of weeks is still being made, right? So what did we give you for a manifold? I couldn't answer that question other than it's either an extrude honed and coated manifold that went through our process here in house, or it is maybe a PAI or a full tilt, because that's our go-tos if we get too far behind. And until our own manifold is
Okay.
up and running here in a couple of weeks. So again, those are things I can't answer without more access, that I would have to shut the entire show down just to get you access, or leave the room and go to a different office, So
we don't need to do all that. But so is the stage 1 performance turbocharger, that's your turbocharger?
yeah, I would guess yes. I mean,
Okay.
if it was a performance turbo, yes. And we have lots of turbos that are stock turbos, but as soon as you step into performance, they're our own proprietary turbo. So I'm going to guess yes.
All right, my man. Well, I appreciate it. Look forward to my motor when I get it.
All right, sir. Yeah, give us a call tomorrow and we can dig deeper into that.
Simple. We'll see it.
Yep, bye. Yeah, full tilt. Full tilt's pretty good. I do like full tilt. I also like PAIs. About the only one I don't really care for so much is PDI's performance manifold. Two problems I have with theirs. Number one is they purposely malware bolts. So you're forced to use use their curves and in the middle of you break down in the middle of Egypt, and you're forced to sit there for a week while you figure out getting them to resupply you, right? So that really sucks. That's one reason I don't like them. The other reason is more than any other manifold, I replace theirs a lot with stuff like full tilt and PAIs because theirs have leaking problems. I think they probably, and don't quote me, but it sure seems like they have a problem with their flatness on those because, man, I have problems with guys come in with those things leaking more than I see on any other manifold. So that's about the only one I don't really care for. Full tilt does a really good job. And so does PAI. PAI is not nearly as robust as a full tilt, and I don't think that you should technically call PAIs a performance manifold. It's just a coated manifold. It's really just a stock coated manifold. So full tilt's really your only option in for a performance manifold right now, other than PDI, until we break in here in the next week or two. And we have prototype now that's running around on several engines. We have our first prototype was 4 months ago, and as there's a lot of miles on it, of course, we just communicate with that gentleman. But we're pretty happy with it, and we gave them the green light to run us out tons of them. And we're improving on what's out there, but I'll save that for when we release it and show you guys what makes it better. But yes, I'm not going to sit here and tell you full tilt doesn't make a good manifold. They certainly do. Anyway, back to the callers. Here we go. Maverick Taylor, I think you're on the air.
Yep. Hey, how's it going?
Good. What can I do for you?
Can you hear? Yeah, I've got a 96 Pete with a 12.7 Detroit. I think I can't remember if it's DDEC 3 or DDEC 4. I just had it mostly overhauled this last summer. The only thing we didn't do was rods and injectors, rebuilt head and all the 9 yards. But I've had an issue before the overhaul, and it's still doing it. I can't seem to find anybody at about 1,600 to 1,700 RPMs, give or take, especially on the high side. That's got a 13 speed. It'll, when you hit about a little over 1,600 RPMs, it'll almost like backfire. It'll spit and sputter, but it won't smoke. There's no smoke. It just acts almost like it's, how do I explain it? Almost like it's struggling for fuel. Real loud popping noise. Back off of it, and it seems to be just fine. Lower gears, I can kind of ease through it as long as I'm not giving it too much boost and not really getting on it. I can ease up over 1,600 RPMs, and it's fine. Other times, if I'm getting on it a little, trying to get ahead and get gears going, it'll do it even on the lower side. Any ideas what that could be?
What engine was it again?
12.7.
I mean, God damn, there's so many things it could be, but I mean, let's just look at the common denominator, right? The common denominator is when I have too much boost pressure, not when I'm at 1,600, right? It's if I'm in the low side and I'm pushing it too hard, right? So it appears to be some kind of boost related issue where we're over spooling or something of that nature.
Well, I guess saying the boost was the wrong thing to say. I just replaced the boost pressure sensor on it. So I was having an issue with that. But boost, it'll pull 30, 35 pounds, no problem pulling a hill, and it won't do it. It's the only time it'll do it is at about 1,650 RPMs. And on the high side, it doesn't matter whether I'm easing into it or getting on it hard. It still does it at 1,650, whether it's 5 pounds of boost or 35.
I've had a truck have the same problem, and I'm trying to remember what the hell I ended up figuring out. One of my own trucks had the same problem. Cat, though. I don't remember what the hell ended up being wrong with it, but
So we've done a couple injector cutout tests, because that was my first thought was maybe an injector going out, but we've done several injector cutout tests and they all come back reading fine.
you've changed the check valve on the back of the head.
Good question. I'm not sure on that one. I don't think so.
Because it could be when your rail pressure is getting too high, it's pushing that open and you're dumping fuel. And when you back off of it, the check valve closes again. Especially when the fuel's hot. Extra, especially when the fuel's hot.
Okay.
Have you noticed that you've had less of a problem when you first start driving it and it kind of shows up a little bit later, like 20, 30 minutes into your driving it?
No, it does it no matter whether it's, I just started driving it or been driving it all day.
Sure. And some guys are saying, camshafts or valves or out of adjustment. I tend to disagree, and here's why. Anytime you have a mechanical problem, it doesn't come and go. It's there all the time. So if it was camshaft issue or something like that, it would be all the time. So you have some other factor going on. Mike Neff says the head might be cracked, which I don't know how that would make the exact problem that you're having, but worth mentioning, I guess. But if I was going to just like take a pocket guess, it seems like it's like you're it's like you have shitty injectors once you get over 1600. Sounds like to me. And that's a loss of fuel rail pressure in my mind. So it seems like your check valve is the problem. And another guy said mine did the same thing, and I changed the check valve, TRS and SRS, and it solved my issues. So I mean, I would start there for sure.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think it's the head crack because it did it before the overhaul, and I had the head completely rebuilt on this thing. It's only got like maybe 50,000 on the overhaul. So
yeah, I don't think it's related to the overhaul.
Check valve.
I don't think there's anything wrong with your engine. This was a problem before you had it overhauled, you said.
Yep, it's always been a problem since the day I bought it.
Right, that's why I don't think it's like Josh says on here, maybe timing on the bull gears off. I just don't think it's any of those things. Two reasons: it comes and goes, tells you it's not mechanical. I mean that's like your number one sign. Does it come and go? If the answer is yes, you can almost always rule out mechanical. Not always, but almost always. And your only common denominator is it's like I have bad injectors, which is a fuel rail pressure loss. The only way that could be happening, in my mind, is that pressure relief valve. It's just not holding the fuel back once it has too much pressure on it. So,
okay, yeah, I'm definitely going to look into that. On the low side of the transmission, it's hit and miss; it'll come and go. But on the high side of the transmission, it's consistent all the time.
And I would imagine that is because when you're in the low side gears, you're going through them pretty quick, right? You're going through them pretty quick, and then when you get to the higher gears, you're sustaining a lot longer, which gives you an opportunity for it to push.
Yeah, like right now I'm doing belly dump work, and a lot of the stuff we're doing, it's like a mile. So I'm not even hitting high side. Low first and second, I'm usually shifting, and I'm usually slow enough that it'll do it without doing it. But third and fourth gear, if I'm getting on it, it'll do it.
Well, right, but the factor is sustaining. If you're getting on it, in other words, you're holding it there. Another guy said a boost pressure sensor will do that. He's absolutely right. Your boost pressure sensor could cause you the same problem.
And I just replaced that here not even a month ago because I was having issues with that smoking, and that fixed that problem.
And go after that check valve, man, and good luck.
All right. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Good night.
Yep.
It's Raiden Cajun shows up and immediately has to join in. The engine's blowing up. You guys are such dickheads. Anyway, I have a 6NZ and want 700 horsepower. Is it possible? Absolutely, it is possible. It is possible to make a C12 into 700 horsepower. But you have to elaborate on that question. Can I make my C16 a 700 horsepower engine and have it last? The answer is no. But can you make it 700 horsepower? The answer is absolutely yes. Yeah, it's a 5.9 Cummins could put out 700 horsepower. Exactly right. All right, let's go back to the callers. All righty then. You're on the air, brother. What can we do for you?
I got a 2000 model C12 9NS cat motor. It's an FL112. It got 3.2 million miles. The truck has never been rebuilt. And within the last 12 at least 8 turbos. It's starting to blow turbos back and forth. I put CAT, I put CTP turbos, and it keeps doing the same thing.
Well, Jesus Christ. Sorry, I made the mistake of reading the comment section. Anyway, but first of all, your opening statement is so incredibly hard to believe. It's too hard to believe. 3.2 million miles with no rebuild kind of isn't the thing for any engine on Earth, right? You would have.
We had this truck that I bought this truck. It was a year old from Penske, and we put one injector in it, and we have it. It was always been a little local truck.
Okay, so let's do this instead. What is happening to the turbos exactly?
When you take off the air boot from the front, you can sit there and grab them gears, grab the front splines, and it'll just blow them out. I mean, you can sit there and rock it in the middle of it back and forth.
Okay, is it eating the fins off of the turbo?
No.
Okay, so if it's not eating the fins off of the turbo, then I'm not really understanding what's happening. Is our shaft failing and the entire compressor or turbine wheel falling out? Or you just don't like how much free plays in the wheel?
No. It feels like you can move it probably 3/4. I wouldn't say a whole 3/4 of an inch, but you got so much play, I could probably wiggle the whole thing out of the housing.
And the turbo's still operating fine. You just don't like how much free play it has, is what I'm trying to establish.
No. We'll have loss of power, white smoke, and everything. It'll stay in there about a month, maybe, and then you'll start losing power with white smoke.
Okay, so
I bought two from CAT, and I bought
if you're not wiping out the turbines, the fins, the wheel, like you don't have pieces of turbine all over the place. If that's not the case, and the internal part of the cartridge is failing on you, now that's a genuine parts failure, by the way, when it comes to turbos. Like if I'm warrantying turbos, that's a turbo warranty. If you're, if you bought a turbo from me and you said this is what's going on, and guess what? There's a new turbo NDA'd to your wherever you want it to as fast as we can get it going. Okay, but if you were on your 8th turbo calling to get a warranty, I wouldn't warranty it, right? Because something else is going on. There's an external factor taking out. There's an external factor taking out these turbos. So you have to look what takes out a cartridge, what takes out your supercore on your turbo. Well, lack of oil. That's pretty much the only thing. Lack of oil, 100%. It's not oiling. You can't go through.
Well, I had
sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Now, I had my mechanic check it, and he said oil is running through it.
Okay. Another guy points out another. Are you seeing any oil be pulled into the intake?
Through the intake now.
Okay, no oil in the intake. So one guy says CAC probably has a crack for you to have a crack cap or anything like that, and it's still out in because it will build a suction on that thing and literally pull oil through the lip seals, right? Which, believe it or not, passing oil on a turbo is not a warrantable item because it's always an external factor making that happen. If you fix the external factor, the turbo will literally stop doing it, right? So if you're just losing the cartridge, it has to be an oiling issue, despite what your mechanic's telling you. When the oil is getting hot or something like that, something is keeping that thing from oiling adequately for you to lose 8 turbos consecutively.
Okay, so what would I need to check to?
I don't know, but if you literally have 3.2 million miles on this thing, I know for a fact, without ever seeing the engine, that it is so wore out, it's unbelievable, and you're getting combustion gas on an unprecedented level into the crankcase, and your oil is probably getting cooked right out of that thing.
I did a oil change. Was it when I did a water pump on it?
Are you Canadian? And maybe you're talking kilometers here, or?
No, these are miles. I'm in Tennessee.
Okay. I'm just checking.
Yeah. No, I did about 2 months ago, I did a water pump. The antifreeze ended up in the oil, and the oil still looks brand new. I've been using it 4 days out of the week. And so the oil is clean, but I got a lot of blow by.
Okay. Well, now we're getting somewhere. I'll be honest with you. I don't know if you can see the comment section or not, but nobody believes you that it has 3 point something on it, and 3.2 on it, and there's a reason for that, right? Because engines don't do that, and not without getting wore out, right? It's not that it's not physically capable of doing it, just not on one rebuild because they literally would just get too wore out for that. Now, let's say, so we don't have to call you a liar, which I don't intend to do, and I'm not trying to do, but let's say that it really has 3.2 million miles on it. You saying it has a lot of blow-by makes a lot of sense. And blow-by is, a lot of people don't understand what blow-by is. And I'm going to go on a little montage here. Just bear with me.
I can unscrew the oil cap and it will shoot it straight. It could shoot it straight out of that hole.
Oh, your oil is getting. then why don't you know what's happening? Your oil is getting so hot, it's the turbo's burning up. Of course.
Okay.
You've got enough life out of it, man. You got to go back. You got to rebuild it, and your turbo problems will go away.
Well, no, I use this truck to go back and forth to sell here in Knoxville because then people they could tear up your trucks quick over there.
Yeah, I understand, but that doesn't mean it doesn't need some love. You got to give that truck some love. All right, brother.
All right, thank you.
Yep. Yeah, I know we always have to get to the rest of the story at the end, right? That one's gonna drive me to drinking. Anyway, I do want to, before I get back to the callers, you guys hang on, I'll get right to you here. There's a huge misconception. People say, I'm burning oil. And people just think that they're literally burning oil. And what people don't understand is you cannot get oil on top of the cylinder. That is not how you burn oil. That's not a thing. I'm consuming oil, and we all refer to it in that aspect, but you are not putting oil on top of the piston crown and burning it, and it's going out the exhaust system. When you're burning oil, you are shooting hot combustion gas, a couple thousand degrees, into the crankcase, and it is smoking the top layer of oil in the oil pan. Flames are coming down. Go get yourself a 5-gallon bucket of oil, get a torch, and torch the top. It doesn't catch on fire. It smokes. You're burning the top layer of oil, right? So when you're burning oil, that is combustion gas burning the top layer, and it smokes and comes out of your blow-by as smoke, right? But where do you guys think that smoke comes from? It comes from flames hitting your oil. That is burning oil. But because of the way we refer to it, so many people think, yeah, I'm consuming oil, I'm burning oil, and they're just in their mind, they imagine it's burning in the combustion chamber and going out the exhaust. It's not. It's really hot gas going down into the crankcase and lighting the top layer of your oil in your oil pan on fire, so to speak. Not literal fire, but hot enough to make it smoke and burn off. And you're literally burning it off, and it's going out your blow-by, your crankcase tube, as smoke, and it is consuming that oil. It is burning it. Anyway, back to the callers. You're on the air. What can we do for you? Hello.
Hello?
That's you. Let's go. What can we do for you?
Yes. I'm currently a truck driver. I've been driving trucks for almost 10 years now. I'm wanting to get out and go into diesel repair. I'm kind of hitting some hiccups. I went to school for automotive repair, welding, outboard engine repair. We're just putting together. I really got nothing out of it because 2 weeks before I was actually supposed to graduate high school, my teacher actually fell over, had a heart attack, and died. So therefore, I really got nothing out of it. The school said that they couldn't replace the teacher because of union politics, licensing, qualifications. So I went on to other things in my life. I'm now 45. A lot of people are not giving me a chance to into diesel repair. I was kind of wondering, maybe you can give me advice to get over that hurdle.
Yeah. The first thing I would do is not tell any place you're trying to get in at that you took diesel in high school.
No, there was no diesel repair. There was no diesel. It was straight automotive, welding, and outboard repair.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But you got to remember, everybody else went to high school too, except for maybe me. And they know that they only learned enough. It's kind of like when you go in the military and you go to basic training, you learn just enough to get the shit kicked out of you. Right. I mean, seriously.
Right.
And same thing with going to high school shop, right? So I really don't know how to. This turned into Dr. Phil with a torque wrench. Sorry, man. That one got me. These fuckers in the comments. Anyway, sorry about that. I mean, I don't really know how to answer your question. I mean, what do you do now? You're 40 some years old. If you're not doing that, what do you do, if I could ask?
Yeah, I'm a truck driver. The trucking industry just sucks right now, and I just want out because I don't got enough patience to deal with the flip flop truck drivers and these companies with hiring people in that don't know what the truckers deal with. And I do have a mechanical background, but that was back in 1999, and I'm now 45.
I mean, I'm 2 years older than you, and my life's far from over, right? I don't really have a good answer to that other than leaning on. So I do have an answer to that. It really comes down to your work ethic, right? So if you have really good work ethic and you know you can lean on that, then you don't even have to worry about what you did in the 90s. You walk into any place and say, hey, I'm here to learn, but this is my passion, is what I want to do. And you get a job and you use your work ethic to immediately get to where you're going. It might take you 6 months, but like guys that get jobs with me here, I'll kind of give you an example. All the guys that work here, there's not a single person here that was a mechanic when they started. I've never had good luck hiring mechanics. In fact, that's in our interview process. If you tell me all about all your mechanic experience, I pretty much don't give you a job. I hire people based on ethic. I don't really care what you like. I teach you everything. I can't teach you how to work, right? And that pretty much that mentality works at every place, everywhere, except for maybe the union.
Yeah, I mean, I went 6 years. I went 6 years without calling or being late.
Right. So you start off tearing engines down, washing, cleaning parts, whatever else, and use your work ethic to get to where you're going. I mean, that's the life advice that I can give you that actually works. If you don't have work ethic like that,
right,
then it doesn't matter where you go. You're just everywhere you go, you're just trying to talk your way into bypassing all of the hard work to get anywhere. Right. So good luck with that.
Right.
But anyhow, what state you located in?
In Georgia.
Oh, okay. Right on. What part?
Right outside Hampton, Georgia. I live like right across the street from Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Well, no wonder you don't like the trucking. What a depressed state. The economy so depressed in Georgia. It depressed me.
Yeah, it is. It is. I can't stand it here. I do not want to be here.
There's a lot of freight right now. There's actually a pretty good trend, even though the price of fuel's so high. I wouldn't be too keen to jump out of trucking right now because it's making a hard turn the other way, and rates are going up a lot in a lot of areas, flatbedding, end dumps, hauling specialty stuff. I wouldn't be too quick to jump out because I think, in my opinion, truck driving is going to see a big shot in the arm for a year or two here. In my opinion, and right quick too. But anyway, brother, I got to get to some of these other guys that have been hanging on forever. I do appreciate your call, and good luck with whichever way you decide to go with that.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Bye. Dr. Phil, how may I help you? Where's Bob? Yeah, Bob did tell me he'd come back on again. But just haven't set a up yet. I'd really like to have Lucas from K2 Diesel on again, just so I can better help guys with Cummins. He's pretty them Cummins as well, but he's always anxious to go home. He works with me all day. How's it going? It's going pretty good, man. It's going pretty good. Somebody on TikTok keeps asking for the number. The number is 573-422-4225. We still have 50 minutes of show left. So there's still 5 people on hold, though. So if you do call in, you're going to wait for a minute. So let's get back to them. You're on the air. What can we do for you?
How you doing there, filler?
Amazing, man. What's going on?
So this is Kelly, your favorite one. All right.
I didn't catch that.
I got a little.
Who?
This is Austin Tally. This is your favorite one.
All right. What can I do for you?
All right. So I've got a cab that's got 10.9 million miles on it with no rebuild, and it's fucked up. What do I do about it?
Christ, dude, get the fuck out of here.
No. In all actuality,
I don't want to be too hard on that kid. You know, it was a little frustrating.
I just had to make a joke.
Right. Guys make me drag it out for 20 minutes just to finally, you know, the engine's blown up. Right. It is kind of that part probably annoyed me a little bit. His claim didn't annoy me because, I mean, what's the alternative? I say you're a liar.
The claim was reasonable.
I mean, 3.2 million miles. I've never seen it.
Yeah, the mileage was off. I know good and damn well that truck ain't run up 3.2 million miles without a rebuild.
Yeah, and I have to agree with you. I have no choice but to agree with you. It's literally like an impossibility, right? Outside of them doing some special, really special shit to be able to achieve that, not just regular operation. No fucking way. But anyway, go ahead.
Okay, so all right. So I had called you a little while back. You may remember me. I'm the guy that I kind of branched out from my regular 9-to-5 job, where I am a lead mechanic at a car hauler manufacturer.
Yep.
And I had talked to you about making my own shop and trying to work on trucks on the side.
Yeah, didn't I tell you just to?
Well,
didn't I tell you just to go for it and not do it on the side?
Well, here's the crazy thing about it. So I have built a shop right down the road from my house, and it took a completely different direction than I thought it was going to. I'm actually working on heavy equipment now, dozers, excavators, and stuff like that. So I have a question about something that I haven't seen yet.
Mm-hmm.
I just did a Caterpillar D5 dozer final drive replacement, and that went wonderful. So I've got a Caterpillar 323 excavator in my shop right now, and I hooked the the data link up to the engine after I checked the oil, dropped the undercarriage, and I drained the oil to look for any kind of coolant or fuel in it, and everything looked good on it. It's got a Caterpillar C7 in it. All right, so after the data link, it told me that it had low oil pressure severity 2 and severity 3. All right, and so I get to looking around on the engine, and I pull the ECM off, and it is slap damn full of oil. I haven't seen that before. So I'm assuming that the oil pressure sending unit or the sensor has gone bad, I'm guessing. Because I'm getting ready to order the parts for it. I just wanted to make sure, because I haven't seen this before, if I'm actually in the right direction.
Well, I mean, does it?
Yeah. It'll start and run. The little electronic monitor inside the cab of the truck, or inside the cab of the excavator, I'd got in and I tried to get oil pressure readings and stuff like that. I never could find it. It will crank and it will move. It will operate. It showed low oil pressure severity 2 and severity.
Right. So here you do, in my opinion, right?
But I pulled the ECM and it was full of oil. I've never seen
You know how that happens typically? It actually comes back down through the harness. Is how that happens. It rides the harness all the way back to the ECM. And you may have to get a new,
Right. Okay.
you may have to get a new ECM. It could be your oil sending unit, your sensor. It could be that ECM. But before I did anything else, if I was you, I would put a manual gauge on it and fire it up and see what you're showing on the manual gauge. 100%. Before you buy any ECMs, all this other shit. If you don't own a manual gauge, Amazon yourself one, and they sell manual gauges with the kits on there that kind of have every fitting known to man, so you can get them hooked up. See what you have on a manual gauge.
I've got a Weber hydraulic test kit. I've also got a compression test kit. I also have a something that you can load on the hydraulic system to pull a vacuum.
Yep.
I've got that kind of stuff. So what kind of kit are you talking about exactly?
Yeah, so it's like your hydraulic test kit, but your hydraulic test kits operate at much higher PSI. So, if you're using a hydraulic test kit, it's not even going to register. They're just like that. They look just like those kits. But you're looking for one.
So I'd be. Oh, okay. Oil test kit.
Yep, you're going to go right into the oil rifle on the passenger side, so to speak, of the engine.
See, the weird thing, when I plug my computer in it and I get the CAT datacom hooked up to the ECM and I'm pulling codes and stuff, it won't show me, it won't read any oil pressure out as far as a value.
I understand. You most likely have an ECM.
And I don't know why that is.
I listen to what I'm telling you, okay? I believe that you have an ECM problem. It's full of oil. You have an ECM. You could even have a sensor problem. I don't think you have a low oil pressure problem. But you're the builder. As a mechanic, you're absolutely insane for liability reasons not to verify the oil pressure on this thing with a manual gauge right away, document it, send a picture to your customer, whatever. And then build off of that. Right. That's all I'm trying to tell you. I'm not telling you anything other than that.
He's wanting this excavator back.
Well, see, that's the kind of customer that you just tell them come pick it up.
So, and he's kind of got me in a situation to where I'm like, it may be the oil pressure sensor that's in the ECM right there. I don't know. I don't really know.
Listen to what I'm telling you. When guys do that to you, tell them to come pick it up. Because if you're
that probably would be a good deal. I've got another customer lined up behind him.
If he has fucking problems, who's he going to blame? He's going to blame you.
Yeah, you're right.
Right.
You're absolutely right.
So if he's not going to give you the time to diagnose it properly, get yourself an oil pressure gauge, make sure that he's not going to grenade this thing, then fuck off and get it off my place. You can't afford to have a customer like that.
Yeah. Exactly. And I 100% agree with you. I've only had this excavator in my shop for 2 days.
Right.
And I've already run through everything, and I've kind of found the problems. And I just wanted to see, like, is that kind of, so it's got a Cat C7 in it.
Mm-hmm. I've rebuilt them. I'm very familiar.
And this is a first for me.
Oh, they're all the same, man. They're all the same. They're so simple. And the C7 takes a very minimal amount of tools. I actually enjoy that engine, but and I've only ever done industrial ones, so I'd be
it's amazing to work on.
I'd be very familiar with exactly what you're looking at. Harbor Freight has great auxiliary oil.
So can I ask you a question real quick, Aaron?
Yeah, go ahead.
So what is the normal cause for that? What would that actually be to be able to have all that oil build up in the ECM right there?
I already.
And would it be okay if?
I already told you. It's almost always coming through the harness, where the harness passes through the internal wiring harness. You have a oil leakage problem there, and it goes down the harness and into the ATM, almost without exception. That's
Okay, so that's 99.9% of the time. That's what causes that.
Yep.
All right. Well, so yeah, I'm about to get me an oil pressure gauge and call him in the morning and tell him, hey, buddy, if you don't want to wait, come pick your shit up.
Yeah, according to the comment section, if you have a Harbor Freight around you, Harbor Freight sells an auxiliary oil pressure gauge set. So that's worth a try.
I've got a Harbor Freight right up the road in Anniston.
There you go. All right, man. Good luck. I got a lot of guys on here I got to get to. So, and just so you know, man.
All right, brother, hire me.
Just so you know, we have all the kits for those smaller industrial engines too. So, hit us up.
Oh, y'all sell them?
Fuck yeah, man.
Well, like referring to like a rebuild kit, correct?
Yeah. If you're rebuilding any of the stuff, that's what I'm getting at. Oil coolers. Oil pumps,
yeah. So if I ever
everything, we have everything for everything.
Oh yeah. You're definitely going to be on my call list too. I have a guy that's coming in that has a. He's got. I don't know if you deal with like track adjusters or anything like that. He's got one stuck on the driver's side of his dozer, and the track is loose and wanting to walk off. That's the guy that's coming in or is trying to come in after this guy with the excavator. I don't know if you deal in that kind of stuff or if I got to just go to a cat dealership.
Yeah, we're pretty much stick with the engines. I mean, we sell a lot of transmissions, differentials, and other things. We do carry some special stuff, but it's mainly engines, brother.
I got you. Well, man, I appreciate it, brother. I'm gonna get him situated in the morning.
Hey, and I'm glad to hear,
I appreciate the advice, man.
I'm glad to hear you went that route. And I'm incredibly glad to hear that it's working out for you, man. And good future luck. Love you a long time and have a good night, man.
Hey, yes, sir, man. Hey, thank you. I didn't expect it to go the way that it did. I thought I was going to be working on heavy trucks and car haulers and stuff, which is what I'm familiar with. This went the whole other direction, and it's actually paying off pretty good.
Good luck, man.
All right, brother. Have a good night.
Yeah, I should have taught. Speaking of books, I should have mentioned to him that I have literally every manual known to man for every type of engine cat ever built for all of the industrial engines. Everyone, every road grader, every excavator, dozer, you name it. I have every manual. I bought them off of eBay in an auction, and it came in like 6 4x4x4 bins. I mean, I just have every manual. Yeah, this is almost gone too. Really sucks. If I finish this, it's going to be really, really bad if we start getting more it's blowing up callers. Hey, you're on the air. What can we do for you?
How you doing? Can you hear me?
Yeah, man, go ahead.
Hey, what's going on, man? So I got this I have transmission questions. I have a Super 10 that's pretty much taking the shit on me, and the synchronizers have gone bad inside of them. And I'm having trouble searching for a 18913A transmission. And my question, man, is do you have any?
I am not sure what we have in inventory right this minute, but if I was going to just guess, I would say there's probably a 98% chance the answer is yes.
Right. Do you rebuild Super 10s?
Well, I mean, you're way better off.
Because my thing is, like,
you're way better coring one out. Can we intake it, rebuild it, send it back? Yes, but we try to reserve that for specialty transmissions that we just don't have. But we have options. We pretty much have new Eaton for nobody can beat our price on a new Eaton with a 3-year warranty. But if an Eaton's too far out of your price range, we carry a Weller for just about every application as well. A reman Weller, and they're pretty great too. So Just call the call center, brother, and the odds of us having it are incredibly high.
Okay. I will do, because I've been calling and I ain't got much information.
Well, what do you mean by that? Because people tell me they call all
No,
the time. Are you called our place, or you've been calling around in general?
No, I called your place a couple times, but I've been calling around in general.
Okay, and what did our call center tell you?
That I don't exactly remember. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you because I ain't wrote it down. But I do have a shitload of other places that I've been calling today and tomorrow. I mean, yesterday and today, that ain't quite working out within my price ranges. But I'm also not trying to replace it with anything new. It could be reman.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I can't imagine our call center didn't figure it out for you. I mean, that's what we do. If we don't figure it out, we figure out how we try to help you figure out how you can figure it out if we can't figure it out. Does that make sense?
Right. No, I get you.
So
I get you. I'll try again tomorrow morning and see what happens. But I'm in Atlanta, so I mean the truck is drivable, you know. But like I said, it's starting to take a shit. So I mean, my plan was to really drive it out there to you.
yeah, we just try not to get into doing work like that, transmission swaps and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But
okay, so I could buy it, but I just can't get out and do it.
Right. I mean, you wouldn't want to anyway. You drive so far, you could have, by the time you got here at the price of fuel, you could have paid to have anybody put it in. Right. Hey, we'll send it right.
I mean, in Atlanta, I'm running across labor prices for over $3,000 for labor prices in Atlanta.
Yeah, well, go down to Savannah where they're more poor hurt down there and get somebody down there to do it.
You got any leads on that?
Trademark truck lines. Hit them up. Tell them we told you to call them. Google them. They're in Rincon.
Got it. I'm writing that down right now. All right, bro. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Have a good night.
All right, you too.
Bye. All right. Austin, calm down, brother. Calm down. Sorry, guys. I'm just reading old Austin Tally here in the comment sections, getting a little excited. You should know better, Austin. No, don't let people online get under your skin. What's my thoughts on the fast system? Callers, we're going to get to you in just a second. This guy's asked this question multiple times, or if he didn't, somebody has been asking me over and over what my thoughts are on the fast system. Here's the thing, man. I don't have a problem with the fast system, and I did have them on some of my trucks. I had them on my own personal truck as well, the one that I drove. The problem I have with the fast system is it doesn't really do anything, right? It gives you 2 extra filters, and it does come in clutch in a pinch if you run out of fuel and you don't want to sit there and do your hand primer for 20 minutes to try and get your truck started again. I also had the fast come in handy one time when I had one of my drivers ran out of fuel, and I was able just to take the fuel line off from the pump, turn the key on, and let that fast system pump me out 5 gallons into a can. That was very convenient. But if you're buying it for reasons other than that, seriously, I don't know about all that noise. Your money's better spent on different items, in my opinion. Now, when I was at the Mid-American Truck Show, the fast guys did say, I did talk to them for a minute, and they kind of commented that I don't speak very highly of them, but it's not about them. I think they're a great company. But Fast has the heating element as well, right? So I want to talk about that really quick. And callers, I'll get to you in just a second. The Fast system does have a heating element in it. I had the one with the heating element, and I also ran the coolant lines to my Fast system. And guess what that didn't prevent when it was literally ambient be an air temperature 56 below. My fuel freezing. I still had to jump out with a torch and torch my fuel filters so I could drive another 20 miles and then come to a stop and torch them again and do it again and again and again until I got to Prudhoe Bay. Well, it didn't make any difference, right? It didn't make any difference. So, yeah, it has a heating element, but have you ever touched your fuel tanks after driving for 50 miles? Your fuel returns so incredibly hot, it's unbelievable. That heating element doesn't do enough to. Your fuel's moving through there so fast. By the time that heating element is not heating up the fuel into the tanks. Your fuel going through your combustion system and out the back of the cylinder head is how that fuel's getting hot. It's just it doesn't do what it purports to do. It just doesn't. And take it from a guy that uses shit out of them. I don't have a problem with them. And I'd rather have a truck that had one than didn't, just for the convenience of, I don't like pumping the little hand thing. I save those kind of motions for the bathroom. But pretending like it does a lot more than that, yeah. When we get the engine dyno running, you guys hound me a little bit and we'll put a fast system on one of these engines and see what our difference is. We'll unhook it, we'll hook it up, and I told you guys that our system has the fuel module on and all that. We can register fuel mileage and horsepower gains and all. We're going to find out really soon. We're going to find out all these things. So back to the callers. You're on the air. What can we do for you?
Hi, I was just calling to see what advice could you give a new shop owner? The stuff that no one tells you and the bastards of everything that you have to deal with and all that other stuff.
Boy, there's a list, but I'm going to tell you 2 or 3 things I think are golden rules to long-term success. In order, and not necessarily in any order of importance, okay? Here's the number one to me. And I have given this advice to lots of guys that we work hand in hand with and supply all their parts to. The number one thing is get a dedicated phone for your shop that has massive amount of memory. Like the shop phone we have is a 2 terabyte phone. And every single person that we do business with, all of the correspondence is ran through that one phone with text message pictures. We take pictures of every process of coming apart, going back together. All updates are done through the phone. And if I need to call the customer and talk to them about their engine or whatever it is, or whatever we're working on, I will text the narrative of what I'm talking to them about, including their replies. If I'm forced to have to talk to them on the phone, I will still capture the whole thing in text message. You get what I'm saying?
God.
You will thank me. You will thank me later. That's number one. Number two is and this is a hard one, for a lot of people. But just be honest all the time, even if your customers are going to be mad at you.
Yeah.
If you're behind schedule or your sister's husband died and you got to go to 3 days to her, if you just tell people what's going on. Because even if they're
communication,
lots of communication, and this kind of goes part and parcel with that. You have to charge enough money to be able to afford to have integrity. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah, yep. So you're away from your family and all that other stuff, so you gotta charge enough to make it worth the integrity of your business.
That's not what I mean. What I mean is let's say you have a failure and it's blatantly your fault. Your margins have to be high enough that you can afford to have the integrity to look your customer in the eye and say, hey, man, I need to take care of all this for you.
Gotcha.
And you take care of it. And it will turn into more work than you can ever handle.
Because
Gotcha.
if you're striving for your bar and your goal is we never have a problem, good fucking luck. Good fucking luck. You're
It's
dealing
never going to happen.
right. So you're dealing with engines and human beings. Right? So
Gotcha.
so the margin for problems is incredibly high. So you focus on mitigating
Gotcha.
that. Last but not least, brother, and there's more, but it got to get to the next callers, you know. But
No problem.
you have to learn to delegate. That's one of the hardest ones for guys like me and probably guys yourself, because you wouldn't even already be in the position you're in if you weren't a guy kind of like me where you're ambitious and go getter. You have to learn to delegate. And so you have two choices. Number one choice is you hire really good people, or you have really good systems. And it shouldn't take too much brain power to guess which one of those has a better success rate and works out way better for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I just wanted to call in and just ask a question.
Yeah.
Because, I work in a shop right now. I started in the industry and I made the leap to go out and start the business and all that other stuff. So I just wanted a little professional advice of what people don't want to tell you. So.
I'm not telling you what people don't want to tell you. I'm telling you the things that people don't even know to tell you.
Gotcha.
Yeah, pay, get good help, pay them really well. I agree with that. But you will never hire good enough help that will benefit you more than having good systems in place. Right? Like, go watch my videos.
Yep.
How many kids do I have working here? Lots. Nobody employs more kids than I do. I have all kinds of 13 to 16-year-old kids working here. That would be impossible if I didn't have good systems in place.
Yep.
Right. So I believe that good systems make good, when we say good people, in my mind, good people is somebody with great work ethic. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. And guys that are, honest, they don't steal from you, this and that, of course. There's other factors, but good work ethic kind of makes up for all of it.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing nowadays.
Yep. Anyway, brother. All right, man. Good luck. Good luck if you go out on your own. Give us a call and we'll help support you in it for sure.
All righty. Thank you, sir. You have a good evening.
You too. Bye.
All right, bye.
There's lots of small shops out there, 1-2 mechanic shops that we help them with all kinds of stuff, help them with their programs and, everything. You guys are giving all kinds of life advice. These fucking goofballs. And this is why they don't go to the comment sections to get advice. You guys are all dickheads. All right. You're on the air. What can we do for you?
Hello?
Yeah, that's you.
Hello?
That's you, brother.
Hey, how you doing? Yeah, 2 weeks ago you was on a Thursday night and I was talking about my motor. The pressure was leaking antifreeze and you told me it may be a head. Well, it turned out to be a head. I had a cracked head. So I went and got me a used head and I got it replaced and it's working well. And I just want to say thank you for your good advice.
Oh, I appreciate that, man. I'm glad you figured it out. I hope it didn't cost you too much to get her fixed. You can always blame a crackhead, right?
Well, they did a good job. It cost $7,500 for everything, but I'm glad to have the truck running and have it running right.
That's good, man. That's good. If your engine's diagnosed right in the first place, it tends to save a lot of money. It really does.
Yes. But thanks a lot and keep up the good work.
Yes, sir. I'm glad to hear you had a good experience. Have a good night, man.
Mm-hmm. You too.
Bye. See?
See? We help some people. Look at that. We told that guy he's a crackhead and he got to figure it out. Just kidding, brother. Just kidding. All right, you're on the air. What can we do for you? Hello.
Hello?
Yeah.
How you doing today? I have a quick question. In your elite built on a Compass CM 871 run compound turbo, is that doable?
Yes. We're getting ready to build an ISM with twin turbos. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna make a bunch of videos about it. But for some friends of ours, that there's a company out there that does Steigers, the articulating Steigers. And we build their engines. They have like 400 or 500 Steigers, and they rent them out or whatever they do with them. And we build the engines for them. And they wanted to build a Steiger to take to the old iron poles. And so we're trying to build them a 900 horsepower ISM, and it's going to be a twin turbo setup. So it's definitely something you could do. Now, for a daily driver, I mean, goddamn, dude, you're going to be a lot of money into that thing for a daily driver that's probably not going to last nearly as long as it should. That's just the reality of it.
Okay, that's my that's what I'm thinking. That's all I wanted to know. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. I mean, you can get a lot of power out of your engine there without going that extreme for a lot less money. You really can. If you're not planning on going to the track,
Yeah, because I just
trying to show off to a bunch of people, it's just not the route to go. You don't need that kind of boost pressure to build a lot of horsepower. You just don't.
okay, because I just wanted I don't want no more than 700.
So the highest horsepower we build and still warranty on that engine is 650. We'll do 650 horsepower, but we'll stand behind it.
Okay, because my CPL is 2919. So it's 650 horses.
Mm-hmm.
So I just curious. That's all.
Well, what engine was it again?
It's an ISX CM 871.
Yeah, they didn't make it 871 and a 650 or 600. What horsepower did you say it was?
I think it's on the thing. It says 650.
That's not a thing. But neither here nor there. But yeah, that's what I think about that. I think you should probably not go that high with it because you're just gonna you're just gonna spend a lot of money and then be in a shop. So,
well, I don't want to be in the shop because that's what I've been in for the rest of my life, in the shop.
yeah.
But I appreciate it.
All right, brother. Good luck.
Thanks.
Yeah, guys, I'm aware 605. And that's probably what he has. Probably, that's what I call the 600 high torque is your 605. That's probably what he's thinking that, that's probably what he has. We're just going to assume that. And we got another caller here. Guys, this probably should be the last caller. We only got one, so we won't take any more calls after this. We'll just hang out in the comment section, hang out and talk to everybody. Because we only got 15 minutes of show left here. So, caller, you're on the air, brother. What can we do for you?
Yes, sir. I've got a 2000 model 2WS Cat having a flutter at high RPM. Once you get it above 1600, it goes to fluttering. I've changed everything that I know to change on it. Flutter to come out of it.
So you have put a different engine in this truck. Are you there? Did we die?
Hello.
There you are. There you are.
Hello.
So what engine?
Yeah.
What engine did this thing originally have?
It originally had a 2WS in it.
I mean,
Come from the factory.
I
With a
suppose
2WS.
I suppose that's possible. It's unlikely, but possible. They were making the 2WS in the first half of '99. So I suppose that is possible. A '99 built engine, 2000 built truck. I guess it's a little hard, but anyway. I mean, have you done a test to see if it's have you done a sight glass test to see if you have more air than you should?
I haven't done a sight glass test because really I don't have one, but I've changed the filter housing on the frame. I've changed all the fuel lines. I've changed the fuel pump. I've changed the check valves in the filter housing. And they even put a block off plate on where the hand primer's at.
Mm-hmm.
And when I blocked off the hand primer, it got better, but it still has the flare in it.
Here's the thing. And you did all that yourself, or you had some place do that for you? All that stuff.
I done it myself. I've been under the hood of these things since I was 12. I done it all myself.
Right. The problem is somebody in the comment section just said change, but no diag, and I have to agree with that, right? And that's the problem with doing it yourself, but really taking it to a shop, you probably would have ended up with the same thing, because that's the way people try to fix things these days. Is just to throw shit at it that it could be and hope they nail it. It's like throwing a dart at the board and hoping it sticks, right? There needs to be some better diag here. We need to see if we have too much air in our sight glass. I would have immediately put a bucket of fuel from the pump down into a bucket of fuel and eliminated everything back from there, which you haven't done. So this could go all the way back to, like some of these guys are saying, your little T valve back there that distributes the fuel to the two different tanks. There's just a myriad of
it's new.
It could be cracked standpipe. There's a myriad. We could do this all night, right? We could do this all night trying to name all the things it could be. But instead of going and talking about all the things that it could be and giving you a list of 17 more things that you can throw money at, we need to do two simple steps. Step number one, that you can do without anybody's help, is go straight to the fuel pump and put a fuel line into a bucket of fuel. That's going to eliminate everything behind you, right? That's going to put you just to the engine, to the return line. Then from there, you need to put a sight glass on it. And you know what?
On the return side or the pressure side?
The return side. Yep.
Okay.
You want me to tell you where I got mine? I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys where I got mine. Apex Diesel Tool is where I got mine. It's awesome. Has the little target inside. And you just count the bubbles as they go past the target. And that's how you figure it out. And it's not expensive. Now you have to build it. You get the little sight glass, then you have to go down and have some hydraulic fittings made for it, or hoses made for it, or whatever. That's what I got.
Yeah.
And then I like that, not anything, but then I like that one is it actually has the target in it. Like for cat, like the way you would one if you bought one from cat, it has the target in it where you, as the bubbles go through the target, you can count. It's really easy, right? But you need to do.
What is the appropriate amount of bubbles?
Well, that's the key right there, isn't it, brother? You have to know what the appropriate amount of bubbles is, because there's a certain amount of bubbles that can go through it and you don't have a problem. That's a fact. Now, I am just, it surprises me I'm able to do this show because I am not that guy, right? I know that equation because I've done it 100 times, but all 100 times I go get the book and look. You know what I'm saying? I've just never been that guy. I don't have that kind of memory. So I wish I could just tell you, and I certainly would. It's not information I'm saving for myself. You know what I mean? I would tell you in a heartbeat, but it is information you can get. You can even call Cat and they would tell you that.
Okay. All right. Well, I didn't have any troubles with the truck till I had it in-framed about a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
And it started after that. So it kind of throwed me at first when it first started that I might have a bad injector seat in the head. And that's right where I'm at now. I've changed everything else that I can change, from the pickup tubes in the tank all the way to the pump, including the pump.
And have you done an injector cutout test with Cat ET, the actual 4-cylinder cutout test?
I have not.
Again, I would have started there. Is it hard starting?
No, you hit the button, it fires right off.
No smoke.
It runs good till, like I say, till you get to 1650, you couldn't ask for a better running motor. But once you get to about 1650 is when it goes to fluttering.
And it doesn't do it at lower RPMs even when you're under heavy load? Like you're coming up a hit or something?
Nope. Only flutters at above 1650. Now, this truck is equipped with a manual fuel pressure gauge.
Yep.
When you crank the truck early in the morning time, the fuel pressure gauge goes to 100 psi, and it'll hold steady.
Yeah.
Now, once the truck comes up to operating temperature, the needle's all over the place. It goes from 120 to 80, 120 to 80. It just flips all over the place, like the needle's broke in it.
Well, I mean, yeah. Yeah. Do you have a pen? Do you have a pen so you can write a number down?
Do I have a what now?
A pencil so you can write a number down.
Give me just 1 second. I am kind of westbound right now.
Westbound and down.
That's right. Headed to Baton Rouge, Louisiana, the lovely city.
There you go. Oh, how good's your memory? Can you remember a seven-digit number?
I got you now. Let me have it.
339-4983.
413.
Yep.
Okay.
339-4983. That is a upgrade to your Caterpillar fuel pump that will up that fuel pressure substantially. And it's $70, I think, for that. You could try that, but I wouldn't recommend throwing more parts at it till you diagnose it better.
Okay. I sure appreciate your help, because, like I said, I'm at my wit's end. I just don't know what else to change other than the head, and we ain't going that far yet.
Well, just the fact that you haven't done a true Cat ET 4-cylinder injector cutout test and let it do its thing and tell you if you have a bad injector, you're throwing money away till you do that. 100%. That should have been done first.
Yeah, well, the injectors was the last thing on my mind because supposedly they're new because they was bought new from Caterpillar when I done the end frame.
Yeah, that
I had the end frame done, rather.
that don't necessarily mean nothing.
Oh, I know. You can't buy nothing worth having no more.
Right.
But I will see if I can't make an appointment with the local cat place and see if they'll do a test on them and go from there.
All right, man. Well, good luck.
All right, buddy. Appreciate you.
Yep. Have a good night, man.
You too.
Bye. All right. Well, my phone just died. So anybody on TikTok just got fucking whacked. That sucks. That's shitty. Oh well, it is what it is. The guy was just asking me what that number was again. Maybe he's coming over here to Facebook, and maybe he'll watch it later. But that part number was 339 4983. That's the part number that you want to dramatically upgrade your cat pump. So, yeah, TikTok didn't pause. I had my phone plugged in, but apparently I never did check to see if it was actually plugged in and charging. So I'm super smart. Anyway, you're looking at buying a glider kit. Which would I recommend? A 12.7 Detroit or a cat? I mean, over the road flatbed. I mean, that's really a tough one, really. I mean, for me, if you're asking, like, for me, there wouldn't even be a question in my mind. It would be a cat. But that Detroit's going to get astronomically better fuel mileage than that cat, especially for doing over the road. It just is. So, there is that. So, I didn't shut the phone line down. I got one more caller. I might as well take him. Let's take him. What can I do for you, man? You're the last caller. What can we do for you? Hello. Right on. And that was Vancouver, British Columbia in Canada. That's something else. All right, that ends the call session. What a fucking idiot. Would I agree that Baldwin filters are better than Caterpillar? No, I wouldn't say that. What I would say is much more in depth. Baldwin makes some of Cat's filters. Cat doesn't make any filters. Let's establish that first of all. Okay, so who makes Cat's filters? Well, Baldwin makes a few of Cat's special filters. For like some of their more exotic engines. But for the most part, Donaldson makes all of Cat's filters. So Cat doesn't make any filters. Donaldson makes the majority of Baldwin make them. That I know for a fact is a true statement. So what is Baldwin a better filter than Cat? No. but they're not a worse filter than cat, if that makes sense. So here's what you have to understand. Baldwin has two lines of filters. They have their regular old filter, like for cat, it'd be the B29. And then they have their high efficiency filters, the BEF 299, whatever. And I only use their high efficiency filters, and they're only like a couple dollars more. Now, their high efficiency filter is going to be the same micron as Cat's. Well, what makes Cat's filter better than Baldwin's? Well, if they're the same micron, nothing. Nothing. Donaldson doesn't make a better filter than Baldwin does. They just don't. It all comes down to the micron that it filters at. And if you buy a high efficiency filter, like I get all high efficiency Baldwin, I use Baldwin. I use high efficiency fuel filters and oil filters from Baldwin, and they're exactly the same. Fleet Guard, Baldwin versus Fleet Guard. I don't think that, we're not really comparing a good comparison here, because Fleet Guard is just as good as Baldwin, and Baldwin is just as good as Fleet Guard. How can you give Fleet Guard a bad rep when they are on Cummins? They are the Cummins filter, and they do a phenomenal job. I would never ever spin a Fleet Guard on my cat and think, fuck, why am I using this shitty filter? That would never even go through my mind. I use a lot of cat filters for aesthetic reasons, but that's the only reason I ever buy cat filters, is for the aesthetics, 100%. And a Baldwin filter looks way better on a Cummins because of red. So I should be using a Fleet Guard. For a diehard OEM type, Fleet Guard is your Cummins filter. So there you go. Your Chevy has 3.2 million miles on it, no rebuild. I believe that. I see some moisture between the block and the cylinder head on the driver's side of my DD15. What are my options? So most likely what's going on there with the moisture between the block and the cylinder head is you have had a liner drop down, and it's allowing gas to push out to the side there. That's most likely what's going on. And it's pushing your cooling jacket coolant out to the side, or if it's oil, same type of concept. But you're getting pressure is why that's happening, and it's most likely from a sunk liner. If it was the cylinder head problem, you'd be complaining also about pressuring up the cooling system, most likely. You have a 2000 truck with a 2WS. Yeah, it certainly is possible. It's just not as common, because the second half of 99, they built 6NZs instead of 2WSs. But you certainly could have a 2000 with a 2WS, 100%. When you were 23 years old, you went to a filter clinic show and Fleet Guard filters were junk. My immediate reaction to you saying that would be to say that you were probably watching the demonstration of somebody that was selling an alternative filter. And those kind of things are always going to show their competition to be junk. I have a 2WS on my 2000 also. Okay, I get it, people. I get it. It's not that uncommon. Good God. I don't see it often. Myself, but I get it. Oh, my poor TikTokers. Those poor guys. I screwed them by not paying attention. Oh, well, they'll live, right? They'll live. Would I keep running it with a sunk liner? Brother, man, not really. I mean, no. No. $2,000 truck was built in 99. I understand that. I understand that. I understand that. C15 Acer 6.25 or a 6NZ 600 horsepower. What's my preference? Well, first I would preface this by saying there's no such thing as a 600 horsepower 6NZ. So if you're looking at buying one or the other, I would get away from the 600 horsepower 6NZ as quick as you could. That just means that somebody's trying to sell you a 6NZ with a 7CZ tune on it, and it's not going to last very long. Your 6.25 Acer, unless you're doing work that justifies you having a 6.25 Acer, it's actually a really poor choice of engine. The King of the Mountain engine, love it. Driven them. My brother owned one. I've hauled loads with them. The fucking shit, man. They are the shit. I absolutely love a 6.25 Acer. If I had to pick an engine that I was just going to take out of the box, that's the one. Love that engine, but incredibly poor on fuel mileage. If you're, running over the road and flatbedding or hauling container, whatever, you're an idiot to buy that truck with that engine. You just are. You're just trying to have making up for wiener size problems or whatever. It's not a smart choice. If you're hauling heavy and you're doing specialized work, absolutely great engine to have. Will I ever get the tooling to start doing the MP series or the D13s, the Volvos? No, because we're getting farther and farther away from doing that, this kind of work anyway. We're leaning more. Our new shop. We're setting up the entire thing to mainly do long block pluses in a very limited amount of complete builds. We're trying to get away from doing end user overhauls altogether. It's just too much headache, too much. It's just too much. So in the year 2026, we're only planning on doing somewhere between 30 and 40 complete engines and somewhere between 500 and 600 long block pluses. That's our plan. Oh, you're meaning rebuild kits? We already have them. You just have to call us. I was just putting together a Volvo D13 kit. I was just building one last week. We already have. I keep trying to tell all you guys, there's not an engine that we don't have. Pretty much. Even all the way down to little Perkins engines and stuff. I'm doing a 6.7 right now. So, we support every engine. As long as diesel fuel goes in the tank, we got you. Do I need to call the center for a oil thermostat? Of course, man. Everything goes through the call center. We want to talk to you. We want to help you. We want to communicate with you. We want to get to know you, quite literally. We want to be those guys. So, and we were actually out of thermostats for the 5th time since we started manufacturing them, and we just got in 400 more, and we're coating them right now. So, we'll have some ready to go tomorrow. So. Wartsala engine and an ocean bow. You have a kit for that? I don't know. The guys at the call center would know for sure if we do. But to give you an example, in the last 3 months, we have done Um, shit, I can't even remember what they're called. Free sale last 3 months. Only persons. I mean, I've said it on here a few times. I can't remember what the other one is. And we've done a little like Volvo Penta type engine, but the other one we did is a super popular engine. I have one in one of my sailboats. I have more than one sailboat, but why can't I remember the name of it? But anyway, do we have it? We might. We really might. So you can't believe I don't know every piece of inventory we have. Oh yeah, you know, it is irritating me. I can't remember the name of the engine because we just rebuilt one. I was heavily involved in rebuilding it. And I have one in one of my boats. Yanmar. There it is. We just did a Yanmar. So that's not like the same kind of class engine there. So really cool engine, by the way. Got a little tiny crank about this big. It's hilarious. One of the funnest engines we've ever overhauled. We've even overhauled a rotary engine here. We've kind of done a little bit of everything, but we did a rotary engine not too long ago. I don't know if you guys have ever seen inside of a rotary engine. We made some videos on it, but man, what a crazy concept a rotary engine is. It blows your mind that they even work, but Yanmar's been powering John Deere's for 50 years. And you know who the OEM supplier is for John Deere? It's actually MaxiForce, who we made that deal with that Highway and Heavy Parts got in the middle of and ruined. But yeah, after rebuilding a rotary engine and seeing how, you know, all the intricacies of a rotary engine, I would never actually want to have one. For sure. They're just really cool. I mean, just the way they work is like mind-blowingly awesome, but I wouldn't want one. Yeah, I agree. Fuck Highway and Heavy Parts. I'm actually scheduled tomorrow to go to our warehouse, our shipping and receiving warehouse. And I'm going to make a video about them because they actually bought Hack Nation domain name and put links to it. So if you search Hack Nation and Hack Nation parts or anything on the internet, it automatically takes you to their website. They are such fucking cocksuckers, man. Unbelievable. How much does it cost to rebuild the M11? If you're talking just parts, it's one of the most affordable engines on the planet to overhaul. How much does it cost in the market? And you're going to take it to somebody? I don't know, man. It depends heavily on the shop you go to. Yep. Anyway, guys, I probably better get running. I have fun with you guys tonight. Appreciate you all coming here. You know, I read the comments, and half the time I'm just trying not to laugh when the callers call. But it does make it a lot more fun to be here in general. And for the most part, you guys do help out. You know, help me figure out what's going on with people's stuff. So I do appreciate all of you guys that come here weekly. It's a lot of fun. You know, I haven't seen a Detweiler video in forever. I haven't. I mean, I think we may have hurt that guy's poor feelers because I haven't seen him put any social media content out in a long time. Came here for info, but it turns out social media makes you more money. These people are ridiculous. I don't understand that comment, man. I really don't. But anyway, guys, I probably better let you go. The fit for tonight was Wittgenstein. If you don't know who he is, look him up. I'm always trying to promote my personal agendas through my shirts. I figured I'd blatantly do it tonight. So we'll see you guys next week. I appreciate everybody coming here. Love you a long time. See you on the next one. Have a good night.